Alright guys, today is Friday, July 22nd, 2022. I had to think about that for a minute. I have my glasses on, this stuff's hard to see. So I've got 78 days left. This is technically the third day, I think, of me working on the car. So, a little something irritating happened. So somebody had replied on one of my videos about the 406 had a knock in it. He told me to check the oil pan. So I used a Dorman replacement oil pan from O'Reilly on it. The drain plug doesn't want to seal. I even changed the actual seal on it, and it's still dripped. So it doesn't really fit all that great. When I took one side loose, all the bolts of one side, it popped up like a 1/4 inch. It was really kind of tough to get it bolted down, but if I put the thin seal, one-piece Velcro gasket on it with a thin front timing cover seal, there was too much space. It would have leaked. So I had to use a thick front. So I had another oil pan. What did I do with that? Right here. This is a Summit Racing Special here. And I thought this might be great, but it has a little bit of an issue. The flanges are really bent on that thing. Now it might be fine, I don't know, but what worries me is how thick it is right here. Instead of having the, the curved transition, it's just really squared. But I might try it. I really don't know. I don't know what to do at this point. I'm kind of stuck. Now here's what's really irritating. So I got on eBay and I found an oil pan, and the guy did have some pictures on there, and it is a driver's side dipstick, and it has the extra little step in it, which is what I've always referred to as a truck pan. So I asked the guy through a message, I said, are there any dents and dings in the oil pan? Because it is nasty, it's covered in grease. And he replied back and he said, none that I can see. So it comes in yesterday in the box. There's no damage to the box. There's no crushes in it or anything. And I pulled it out just like this, and that's the first thing I see. That's a pretty damn good sized dent, ain't it? But he couldn't see it. Look at that, it's even got a hole in it. See that daylight in there? How awesome is that? So that's the kind of crap that people will do on eBay and lie to you, straight up lie to you. So I messaged him and told him that I was going to be needing my money back. So return it, basically. So we'll see how far this gets escalated. Alright, so the fiasco continues. So he replied on eBay to my message, and he said, well, I guess I should have checked it over better before I shipped it. Yeah, that's the reason I asked him if it had any dents or dings, you know what I mean? But what I never noticed in the dark, look at the daylight, you can see through that. This is actually split and broken right there. That's pretty amazing. I didn't mind how dirty it was, but of all the pictures he took, he neglected to put this in the picture. They were all strategically placed. Like there's one shot from this angle, but you can only see about that much of the pan. Like he was blatantly trying to keep from putting the pictures on there. So he did tell me that he'll go ahead and refund me. The pan was actually $28. I thought it was $22. He said, I'll go ahead and refund the $28. That way I'm not losing my shipping. So I had to re-reply. I haven't checked yet to see if he's replied back. But I asked him if I'm just supposed to eat the $53 that I paid for shipping. I asked him if it had any dents or dings, and he said no. So that's why I bought it. But anyway, I'm probably going to have to get PayPal involved on this. So what a mess. What an absolute mess. But I did think of something just a few minutes ago, actually. So I've got a deal going. It's pretty much verbally done. I'm supposed to get my Monte Carlo Super Sports back, and in on the deal was a 350 engine that I had rebuilt. It's a long block, and when he come and got the 87 Super Sport, he took the engine also and he put it in his shop. That engine, if I remember right, is a driver's side dipstick 350. So there is my oil pan that I can use. The 350, you know, I don't need that engine right now. I need this engine right now. So I will borrow that oil pan. If I have to, I'll try to use that new Summit one over there that's, you know, kind of tweaked out a little bit. That one may be fine once it's bolted on, you know, because when you go to pull one down, it'll go on there. And I do have the pan rails to go on here instead of just putting the bolts in there to tweak it. You know, I've got the pan rails to put on it, which is going to help. I'm just worried that this pan is not going to clear my rear steering on the car. It's pretty close to this one, and this one is a little bit thicker in that area, so I'm really worried about it. I don't want to have to try to mock the engine up in the car. I would rather just have a stock GM pan, you know what I mean? So I messaged my buddy with the engine, and I asked him if that was driver's side dipstick, because I think it is. But if that's the case, I'll go over and get that engine and bring it home and pop the pan off of it and borrow it. I guess you'd say. But man, what a mess. I mean, this turned into a mess. I can't believe it. I know a lot of friends that have small block Chevys laying around, parts and pieces, and nobody has a driver's side pan, a good used one. Now, I do have a buddy that's got a couple of driver's side pans, but they literally look like the engine exploded on one of them because it has a bunch of high spots in it. The other one looks like when they pulled the engine out, they just dropped it on the ground and smashed it. I'm not putting a smashed up, beat up oil pan on this show car. You know what I mean? Well, what I'm calling a show car. So I've got to be a little particular. So, man, I just can't believe the kind of messes that I get into sometimes over the smallest thing. But it's amazing to me, out of all the oil pans I have here, I have a lot of passenger side dipstick oil pans here. There's none of them that are beat up. So maybe I'm just a little bit easier on stuff when I remove it or something. I don't know, but day 3 and it's turned into a nightmare.